Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that income tax never existed. No IRS, no federal deductions, no April 15th panic. Many people believe that before 1913, Americans never paid taxes, and that after 1913, not paying taxes suddenly became a crime. But is that actually true? Tonight, we uncovered the full story of taxation in the United States, from the founding era to the Civil War to the moment the Constitution changed forever. America after independence. After the American Revolution, the new nation had a massive problem: debt. The government needed money to survive. But the founders feared giving too much power to the federal government. So how did they fund the country? Instead of income tax, the early government relied mostly on tariffs, taxes on imported goods, excise taxes, taxes on specific products like alcohol. One of the first major tax controversies came in 1791. Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton proposed a tax on whiskey. This led to the famous Whiskey Rebellion under President George Washington. Farmers protested violently, but Washington crushed the rebellion, proving the federal government had taxation power. So, clearly, taxes already existed, just not income tax. The first income tax, Civil War era. Fast forward to 1861. The nation explodes into the American Civil War. President Abraham Lincoln needed money urgently. War is expensive. So in 1861, Congress passed America's first federal income tax. It was temporary. It targeted higher incomes, and it funded the Union War effort. This tax evolved into the Revenue Act of 1862, creating the first version of what would later become the IRS. For the first time in American history, citizens were taxed directly on income by the federal government. But here's the key. After the war ended, the income tax expired in 18. America returned to tariffs and excise taxes. So yes, after 1872, there was no federal income tax. But that doesn't mean there were no taxes at all. The Gilded Age and wealth inequality. Late 1800s, America saw explosive industrial growth. Railroads, steel, oil, tycoons like Rockefeller and Carnegie accumulated massive fortunes. Meanwhile, ordinary workers struggled. Many Americans began demanding a progressive income tax. In 1894, Congress passed a new income tax law. But in 1895, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled it unconstitutional. Why? Because the Constitution required direct taxes to be apportioned among states by population, something income tax did not do. So the law was struck down. America once again had no federal income tax. The constitutional turning point, 1913, they argued that tariffs unfairly burdened working people. The 16th Amendment was ratified. Congress explicit power to tax incomes without apportionment among the states, and that's when the modern tax system was born. The early income tax rates were very low. It primarily targeted the wealthy. Progressive reformers pushed for change. Finally, in 1913, everything changed. It gave this permanently legalized federal income tax. But here's something many people misunderstand. Only about 3% of Americans paid it at first. It was not the massive middle-class system we know today. World War I and the expansion of taxation. Then came World War I. Government spending exploded. Income tax rates increased dramatically. More Americans became subject to taxation. During World War II, income tax transformed again. The government introduced payroll, withholding, broader tax brackets, mass participation. By the 1940s, income tax became something nearly every working American paid. The IRS became a permanent institution. Failure to pay became a federal crime, and the system we know today was fully established. So was it illegal before 1913? Here is the truth. Americans always paid some form of taxes. Federal income tax first appeared during the Civil War. It disappeared. It was ruled unconstitutional. Then the Constitution was amended in 1913 to allow it permanently. So the statement, "Your ancestors never paid taxes until 1913, is historically inaccurate. A more accurate version would be, before 1913, there was no permanent constitutional federal income tax. That's a big difference. Closing. Taxation has always been controversial. From the Whiskey Rebellion to the Civil War to the 16th Amendment, the debate continues. Even today, was 1913 a necessary reform or the beginning of federal overreach? History doesn't give simple answers, but it does give us facts. And now, you know them. If you enjoyed this deep dive into American history, subscribe for more untold stories from the past. Because the past always explains the present. History doesn't end in 1913. It evolves. And what happened next changed America forever. If you want the real story, not headlines, subscribe. Because in the next episode, we're uncovering what World War II did to the American tax system. And trust me, most people have no idea. Dua? Second bus. I'll see you in the next chapter.